Assalamu alaikum, guys. Can I just have... Alright guys, Jazakallah. Show some love to the video as well.
Nothing on my name, you know.
Alright guys, I hope you're enjoying the food. How is it? Is it good? Alright, yeah. We tried to be a bit more exotic this year, so we've got Asian food. But we've got something special in store for you now. What we got?
Yeah, so we thought while you're eating, it would be a fantastic time to relive some of the most amazing memories from Charity Week 2019, but not just from the UK, but from all over the globe. So put your hands together for the Charity Week 2019 International Video!
This was the peaceful protest against
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people. This seems to be
I'm sure you'll all agree, reliving the best moments of charity across the globe, mashallah, and we hope you enjoyed that on the live stream as well. So, we've had a bit of hype. Now it's time to introduce our next guest. So our next guest is a national treasure, as I'm sure you'll agree when we announce his name. And he's also the head of fundraising at Islamic Relief UK.
Now, if you're from London, you've probably seen him somewhere. Might have seen him at your dinner, maybe at your auction, lecture theatre, maybe at your wedding. He's everywhere. Just send him your location and he'll be there. Some people call him the postman because he always delivers.
Some say that some people in London say they see him more often than they see their parents. So.
Our next guest, let's just say his name rhymes with Alu Palu. It's Zia Salah!
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasul Kareem. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Okay, good. These intros are getting worse and worse every year, man. Subhanallah. It always throws me off because I always wait for my turn to come up and talk about the most important part of our work, and then I get these clowns giving me this introduction, subhanallah. And you know what, it's actually quite sad that some of you have seen me more than your parents. That's like depressing. So, however, it's an honor for me because, alhamdulillah, I am one of the blessed members of the fundraising team. Alhamdulillah, this year, I think every single one of them were traveling up and down to all the different ISOCs and institutions. And I think the fact that every single member of the fundraising team was at an event pretty much every night of Charity Week is a testament to how hard every one of you guys worked. So I think everyone in this room, including the fundraisers, deserves a big, big round of applause, inshallah. We hear the mantra of Charity Week all the time, this idea of unity. And 16 years later, I'm sure people in this room are probably turning up thinking, all right, are we going to hear about something else this year? Because we've heard about unity far too much and far too often. The bad news is, I'm going to say the same thing, because unity is still the priority and the main aim and objective of this project. The reason being, and I know that this year we focused on the superhero theme, and we talked about how, you know, we as volunteers, and to be honest, last year I talked about how the guys in the field, especially I had just come back from Indonesia, and I saw how they sacrificed their family time, their lives, and they risked their lives to get the aid to those that needed it. And we made a point that year to say that they are the true heroes that really put themselves on the line to deliver the work that we do. But the idea of superheroes, and the reason it was kind of such a key part of the theme this year, is because it's something that we can all relate to. I think growing up we all saw movies, and we all saw all the different superheroes, and I was actually, I don't know what this guy's doing. I was actually kind of told off by the Charity Week team because I wasn't an Avengers fan, and I hadn't seen it, and I got really good telling off. But that kind of goes to show my age a little bit, I guess, because I grew up watching Superman 1, 2, and 3. There's some like grey-haired people on this side nodding their head saying, yeah, we remember that. But when I watched Superman, I used to always wonder, and I used to think, even when he used to be in one part of the city, somebody would cry out for help, and he would immediately fly in to rescue them, right? But what I noticed was his hearing was confined within his own city. He never heard anybody cry in Africa or in Asia or in Russia or in the Far East or Southeast Asia where calamity struck. He always responded to a crisis on his doorstep. And I think the same applies for these guys. Whether it's Iron Man, whether it's Spider-Man, whether it's all Captain America and all these other goons, they all respond to whatever is happening on their doorstep. Because for them, the emergency is always what's in front of them. The emergency is what they see. In fact, we grow up in a culture where superheroes and the movies, we know that movies are a big business, multi-billion-dollar industry, which goes to show that millions, if not billions, of people are watching movies. Whether you're watching it in India or in Australia or in the UK or in America, all the superheroes that you watch are based in New York. All these guys are responding to crises in New York. If there's an alien invasion, it happens in New York. If there is some kind of train crash that's about to go down and kill thousands of people, it's happening in New York. And whenever that happens, all these superheroes assemble and try to save these people on their own doorstep. And the question is why? Why is it always New York? Why are they always responding to something that's happening on their doorstep? In fact, I think somebody did a bit of analysis and they drew a map of where every single one of these superheroes is based. Batman, Spider-Man, and all of these other guys. And they're all basically in the same vicinity. The reason is because they basically respond to what's in front of you. What's out of sight is out of mind. And as much as we talk about superheroes, and as much as we talk about our volunteers who today are gathered here from across the country, and we have representatives from across the globe, these are superheroes, no doubt. You are all superheroes in your own right in terms of the work that you're doing. But what makes us any different to these guys? What makes us any different to the ones that hear something next to them or see something in front of them? What makes us as humanitarians in our field, from our perspective, any different? Because we only respond to what's in front of us as well. We only really respond to Gaza when Israel starts dropping bombs. And it's all over the news. It's all over Twitter, it's all over Facebook, it's headline news. That's the only time we all start feeling passionate about it. We start making dua, we start crying in our qiyam, we give donations and find ways of helping. Why is it that the year goes by and nobody is rushing to respond to a crisis in Niger, or in Mali, or in Kenya, or in Pakistan? Why is it that we only feel the cries or the pain of people when it's headline news? Are we any better than those superheroes that we just saw? Or are we the same? We only respond to what we see in front of us. And the reason why I want to focus on this is because Charity Week is a model that, in my opinion, is growing in the same way as the organization does. 35 years ago, Islamic Relief started in response to one crisis. And in the last 35 years, we have expanded and we have grown and we have set up our bases in some of the most hardest to reach and the most difficult needs hotspots around the world, strategically located, so that if there is a disaster, our teams can get there within at least 24 hours. That work, although doesn't make the frontline news, does not make any headlines, it's continuing every single day. The teams are out doing needs assessments every single day. They're feeding into our HQ in Birmingham every single day. The partner offices here in the UK, in the US, in Canada, in Germany, in Italy, in Spain, in Belgium, in South Africa, in Malaysia, in Australia, they're constantly raising funds to respond to these crises. And maybe 0.5% of these issues are making the news. Islamic Relief has been able to do so much in a short space of time. But why do we take this project so seriously? Why is Charity Week so important to us? The reason being is that you saw our CEO come up and speak earlier. You see, I'm here and I'm speaking to you today. But in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, we may not be here. And the next crop and the next generation of Muslim leaders are going to have to take the mantle, are going to have to take this forward, are going to have to pick up where we have left off, because with every generation, new challenges arise. This board of Twitter that you see behind me didn't exist in 1984 when Dr. Hani was assembling people at the mosque. The way that we responded to crisis then is very different to how we are responding to crisis now. And one of the biggest crises that we face is that we only respond to what makes the news. Our director and our CEO are sat here today, and they can tell you, they can vouch for the fact that when we sit in meetings, when we sat in meetings in 2014, 15, in 15, 16 and 17, we tried to generate an emergency campaign for Yemen. We tried to get other charities to come with us and say, let's amplify our voices, let's work together, and let's let people know what's happening in Yemen. Millions of people are literally starving to death for the sake of a £25 treatment for malnutrition. But because nobody was making that headline news, because Twitter wasn't full of stories about Yemen, nobody cared. Not that nobody cared, but they just didn't know. And that was a silent crisis and a silent emergency. And we were just like Superman. We were watching the news about Syria, and we were crying about Syria, and we were making dua for Syria, and rightly so. But as we were looking towards Syria, our brothers and sisters in Yemen were dying every single day. We had to persuade the BBC, the Channel 4 News and Sky, and basically force the hand of the DEC to say, you have to launch an appeal for Yemen. You have to, because people are dying. And the only way they're going to know is if the news covers it. So, this project, the reason why unity is so important is because a handful of us, this table here is mainly the fundraising team of Islamic Relief. The amount of work this table can do compared to the amount of difference this room can make is 2 worlds apart. You have to take the mantle on. And I know we have representatives here from different parts of the world. And you have to take this message back. Because the need of the world, the ummah, but also the world as a whole, is increasing every single day. And Charity Week for me, as much as we kind of big it up and we boast about the difference we're making, what you see on the screen is just a drop in the ocean of what needs to happen. But alhamdulillah, it's a template, because we've got projects like cancer care in Gaza. When was the last time you saw news about cancer issues in Gaza? The fact that children who are getting permits to go to West Bank for treatment and who don't make it are dying alone in those wards because their parents didn't get a permit to travel with them. When was that news? How many of you heard that children in Pakistan, not tens or hundreds or thousands, but millions are living with hepatitis, which could eventually lead to their death? When did that make headline news? How many of you, since the last time you heard about the war in Afghanistan, heard the news talk about the lack of literacy of children, of girls especially, in rural Afghanistan? When was that mentioned the last time you watched the news or on your social media feeds? That is why Charity Week for me is so crucial, because the approach we take is making the needs of our people and our brothers and our sisters and humanity as a whole a priority for us. And they're a priority for us regardless of who is talking about it. They're a priority for us whether they are on the news channels or not. Because if the reporters are not on the ground, our teams are. Our teams are in these countries, and that is why we have this project survey that gives you access to all these projects what nobody's talking about. I've heard brothers and sisters come to me during Charity Week and outside and criticize Islamic Relief, criticize Charity Week as well. I don't know if the guys are going to appreciate me saying this, but I've heard people say, you guys don't prioritize Africa. Look at our accounts. When our donors give us restricted money, someone comes to us and says, here's £1,000 for Syria. We are obliged to spend that £1,000 in Syria. We cannot divert it elsewhere. When someone gives us money for Gaza, we are obliged to spend it in Gaza. 70% maybe of our income is emergency response, which further reiterates that we have the same mindset as Spider-Man and Superman. We only give and we only respond when we hear about an emergency on our news feeds. But in the week of Charity Week, we never spoke about the news. We never spoke about the emergency situation of one country over another. We didn't even focus on our income. And we didn't say this year we have to raise this much or this ISOC has to beat last year's. No. The aim and the approach and the conversation we had in every single event that I was at was that we need to come together, because as a collective we can make a far greater difference than as an individual. In the UK we have 3 million Muslims. In this room we have about 500. We are a tiny, minute percent of the population in this country alone. Imagine if all of us in the UK and all of us in the West united. Imagine if we all came together and we all pulled our resources and we all responded to wherever the need was. We would not need the news to help our brothers and our sisters. And that is why we need to continue saying this mantra of unity, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained it upon us. He said, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold on to the rope of Allah together and do not be disunited. For me, Charity Week is a model that just instills that sows that seed of unity. And the job that every single one of you in this room, because if you weren't here and you didn't hear what the message was today, you could be excused, you could be forgiven. But you're here now and you've heard the need, and you've heard that it is your duty. And if you weren't aware of that verse in the Quran, you are now aware that Allah has ordained it upon each and every one of you, that when you walk through campus and you see another brother or a sister, you do not shun them, you do not turn them away, you do not highlight the difference between you and them. Because that difference between you and them could mean a child in Yemen dies of starvation. That is the reality of the impact that is the responsibility on our shoulders. So, forgive me for repeating and going on about unity, but honestly, and if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't stand before you and I wouldn't attend all of those events and I wouldn't repeat myself so often. The solution to many of our problems in the Ummah today is the fact that we are disunited. And Charity Week is the 16 years young, but it's still the early baby steps of bringing the Ummah together. So please, let's stay united. And if you haven't completed the project survey, then please do, because it's the only project in the world that allows you to actually prioritize the projects you want to fund that you've raised money for. And understand the impact. I said this last year, I went to a lot of events and I asked how many people know where we spent the money last year. Hardly anyone. Understand the impact and share that message and tell everyone what we are doing together and bring more people on board. You know, we've always had this issue of not having a venue big enough. We want that problem. We want that problem year on year. And we want more and more of you to come forward, because inshallah, together, united, we can make a difference, we can save more lives, and we can make a real change. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, so you're gonna get put on the spot now. So I said to brother, when you go back, make sure you tell everyone and check that everyone has downloaded the virtual reality app. And he said, no, I don't know enough about it. So the virtual reality app is something that we launched with Charity Week, and alhamdulillah, we've had several thousand downloads in a very short space of time. It is something that actually engages young people, and it shows you how our projects work. You can search for it on the App Store or Google Play and search for Islamic Relief Worldwide, and it'll come up. It's based on projects, real projects. Projects that Charity Week has funded and other projects that Islamic Relief has funded. But if you have a smartphone, download it, because it's a cool way to engage it. It's a game that you develop and you move up levels, etc. But at the same time, you learn about all the different projects. And if you haven't read the annual report and it's not something that you're interested in, I hope that you are. But if it's not, then you can learn about all those projects. So please, guys, download the virtual reality app, inshallah, play the game and learn more about the project that you funded. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair for that talk.
Yep. So moving on from that talk, our next guest is the president of the National Union of Students, so very exciting. And she's a fantastic example of a Muslim working for the sake of the wider community and for the sake of the Ummah and making a positive impact on the world. So without any further ado, please give your warm welcome to Zamzam Ibrahim.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? This is a very, very packed room, mashallah. How incredible room. I love to see so many brothers and sisters in one space, all coming together to celebrate something so incredible. So, Jazakallah, it's a pleasure to be here. So, as the brother said, my name is Zamzam. Is this echoing? Is this okay? Maybe it's just myself hearing my own voice. But my name is Zamzam Ibrahim. I am the president of the National Union of Students. And it's an absolute privilege to be here today. And I want to start first of all actually by thanking Islamic Relief and all those involved in the national coordination of Charity Week for organising this and also inviting me to speak. And I think it's important to pay a tribute to the founders and the historic organisers of the legacy that has been the Charity Week for 16 years, mashallah, and may continue, inshallah, for another 16 years and many more years to come. And I pray those involved in founding and sustaining Charity Week are rewarded abundantly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you all in this life and the next life. Ameen. I also want to thank you and highlight the work of Islamic cultures, Islamic societies and cultural societies on campuses up and down the country. And I seen that there's Germany in the room. Are there any other foreign countries in the room? We'd love to see it. And because they actually bring so much to our campuses and to our society. And for those of you that don't know what the NUS is, that's absolutely fine, I will explain. The National Union of Students is a federation of colleges and universities across the country. We have a membership of 550 student unions. And that's in England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. And so, in the way in which we're essentially collected by design, and what that means is that every student, whether you choose or not to, is a member of their student union on their campus. And every student union, almost, is a member of NUS. And so, alhamdulillah, I therefore represent 7 million students across the country. And I think, in the way, in the collective design that we're set up, it's pretty amazing, it's pretty cool. And so, for me, the important role that, for me, like the opportunities that student unions played in my role, it allowed me to become the vice president at Salford Students' Union, then move on to becoming the president. Last year, I was the vice president of the National Union of Students. And this year, alhamdulillah, the president, a role that I take, alhamdulillah, a role that I don't take lightly, a role that comes with so much responsibility, and I carry that man that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me with. But the reason I'm in this role is because I love the student movement and the collectivism that it brings. The idea that there is nothing that we can't overcome when we come together, to me is quite exciting, it's incredible. It's the relentless energy of young people coming together when nobody else is looking at another issue. The relentless energy for us to tackle the biggest challenges in our education system, to recognise and develop, to recognise that students deserve an excellent education system, excellent support, and excellent representation. But the reality is, we see the same values here in Charity Week, right? The problems of the world are solved through unity. The idea that we are, as a collective, stronger together. And our situations can't change unless we change ourselves. And these aren't values that last a week. These are values that last a lifetime. These are the values in which we are universal lifelong values. And we hold on to them, and we need to sustain them. Because we are the future of our Ummah here in the UK. And we need to bring the wider Ummah together in every corner of the world. So we see our Ummah tested, actually, more than ever right now in society. We see the pain of Syria and Yemen ongoing, the suffering of Uyghurs and the Rohingya brothers and sisters, the daily anguish of our siblings occupied in Palestine and Kashmir continue. And we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lifts their suffering and grants them justice against their oppressors. And yes, our communities here are tested also. Let's not forget that. We see Islamophobia on the rise and attacks on our liberties to express the core traditions of tenets of our faith. Indeed, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests those who believe in particular people in this room who are dedicated to serving the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the question is, for the sake of our future, what do we do and how do we face those tests? And so I need to have an internal conversation with you all as brothers and sisters in Islam. Most of us here are born in the UK, but yet still believe that we don't have a right to be here in Britain. As if our invitation here is conditional upon something, or at least we're made to feel that way anyways. We're asked to choose between Islam or being British, and as if they're both identities that clash. On our way of life and our very meaning of existence, it is not our identity isn't to be worn, an article of clothing to be put on and off. We are proud to be Muslim, and we should be. Our prayers, our fast, our zakat, our hajj, and of course our shahada is what we should carry unapologetically every single day of our lives, in public and in private life. But equally, we are British. Our culture is British, our future is here, and we are here to help write the next chapter of the British story. But we have a duty first and foremost as Muslims. And as Muslims in the UK, we need to come together and overcome some fears. As British citizens, we are no longer under this law of foreign states or former colonies. We should reject this idea of sub-citizenship as a product of the past. And we need to regain confidence in oneself and one's values. And that means, in practice, reclaiming one's rights and respect. And the involvement in education reform, social and political participation, economic resistance, interreligious dialogue, and contribution to culture and sport is incredibly important. Our strategy must be everywhere. In every political office, in every single boardroom, in every media outlet. And we must be contributing to the arts, the academia, and the science. We can't, and we just can't allow to be Muslim faces in high places. We must be Muslim voices, able to articulate the Muslim interests, but also alongside a common good for all in our society. And one more, is the mindset, and today actually, the mindset of that is challenged more than ever today, right? And we're seeing that reflected in our society and the current political climate. So I want you all to be honest with me. I want to ask you a question. How many of you, I mean, lying is haram anyways, I'm just going to put that there, just in case you didn't know. How many of you are registered to vote? Put your hand up. Keep your hand up if you have also encouraged your family and your friends to vote. Some hands went down. Okay, thank you. For those of you that are registered, well done. There you go. And for those of you that are registered but haven't encouraged your friends and circles to register, you should be doing that. But let me have a conversation first of all. I mean, congratulations for registering, mashallah. Inshallah, vote as well. But actually, I want to have a conversation with those of you that actually haven't bothered to register. Because if there's anything, we know that the problems and challenges that Muslims face in the UK more widely today in the lack of opportunities and the issues that we face in our education system. But my brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters in Islamic Relief or any other charity will be able to tell you how difficult it is for any Muslim organisation to engage with any government or institution, like the Charity Commission, for example. And so, I hate to break it to you, but these problems won't be solved by Twitter threads or ranting to your group friends in a WhatsApp group. If we do not participate and use our votes, we will be responsible for an unhealthy outcome of this election or any election. Our failure to vote for the right candidate means that others will win the election easily. And if they have discriminating policies and attitudes towards us as Muslims, that doesn't just impact the whole of society, it affects our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, our siblings. And still, I guess if you're still not up for voting, and you don't think it's important or something that will change your life, fine. But at least use your vote to voice another person. Your vote just vote for the single mother who's relying on zakat donations just to survive because she can't make ends meet because of the dire state of austerity in this country. Use your vote for our young siblings who are caught up in gang violence because youth centres that they could have gone to have been closed down and they see no positive future for themselves. Use your vote for your parents and your grandparents who struggled to be here and strive to reach the shores for you to have a better future. But also know that those suffering won't be stopped if we refuse to vote. Use your vote for your sister who gets verbally and physically attacked in the streets for just wearing the hijab and practicing our faith. Whenever we decide to vote, we are contributing to the erosion and the moral and ethical values of our country's socio-economic and political policies, both domestic and foreign. So it's vital that we get involved in the strive to improve the situation for ourselves, but of course for our future generations. We have to avoid falling into the mindset of the victimhood and always pointing the finger at others. We ourselves have to bring ourselves and change society for the better. We need, as Muslim communities, to wake up to the issues happening all around us. We need to come together and exercise our right by voting on, what day is the general election? 12th of December. This election is I'm genuinely being serious, the most important election of our lifetime, in my lifetime. So make sure you register today and make sure you make your voice count, but also make sure that you influence everybody that's in your circle, your friends, your social media, plaster it all over, because there's a role that we play in getting people registered, and I think there's 3 days left to register today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the strength to do this. Indeed, He says in the Quran, "O who you believe, if you aid the deen of Allah, Allah will aid you and make you stand firm." Let me end by congratulating all of you again for your incredible achievements during Charity Week, for all the amazing work that you've done in your Islamic societies throughout the year. But I urge you all to carry on the spirit and engaging in the upcoming elections, and engaging your local communities and societies, and engaging specifically in this general election to make this country a better place, a safer place, a more vibrant place for our community to prosper. Jazakallah khair again to Islamic Relief for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah khair. And a fantastic reminder as well, if you haven't signed up to vote, please remember to do so.
Guys, we've got a very, very packed schedule ahead of us, so please do bear with us. But first, we pray. It's time for Maghrib.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Where the changes from massive changes from massive, I saw
Assalamu alaikum everyone. As Omar said, we've got a really packed schedule, so it'd be much appreciated if everyone who's prayed can quickly take their seats inshallah so we can restart the program. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum everyone. We will be starting in literally a minute inshallah, so if everyone can take their seats as quick as possible. Jazakallah khair.
Guys, can we please take our seats? Because we're going to start now. Everyone please take their seats. They're coming in.
We don't want anyone to miss anything.
Lads standing at the back, please take your seat. Take your seat, please, everyone. Tariq, sit down. Sit down. So all the lads coming in, everyone please take their seat. right now, really quickly.
And would it be possible to dim the lights a little bit, please, as well? Thank you.
You know, if you take your seat, you get to have the dessert quicker.
You can have seconds. Always.
That is
Tanzil, can we have you sitting down, please? South Rep over there. Can we have you sitting down? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right, we are going to start now. So, shh, can I have your attention, please? Shh. Order. Order. Shh. Okay. Right. Really quickly, first of all, desserts out, really nice. Just when you thought the night wasn't sweet enough, not more desserts. What we're going to do now is just a quick announcement about the classes on the tables. We've left them out for you because I know it's really hot and you guys want to have your water, so that's fine. But please don't bang on the tables and break any glasses. It is a charity event, and if we break glasses, we pay for them. That means the money that you guys raise. Blah, blah, blah.
Yep. So, just a quick one from our final sponsor. Our final sponsor is Launch Good.
Quiet, please. There you go.
Thanks, bro. So, 500,000 Muslims globally have united to support amazing projects from emergency response to grassroots campaigns, and now you have a chance to join them and become a Launch Good ambassador. So check out your leaflets and continue to unite for good in Charity Week and beyond. So I think you'll find your leaflets on your table.
Something big's coming.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for it. So, we'd now like to invite on stage some people from our international team. We'd like to invite the International Gensec and the South African Gensec on stage, please!
Assalamualaikum everyone. Hope everyone is doing well.
So today myself and Asma will be introducing we'll be talking a bit about some international highlights that have taken place this year for 2019.
So for this particular bit, we have shifted things a little bit differently. So what we're going to do is give you a little snippet of different stories from different countries, and you have to guess which country does this story belong to. So for the first story, in this country, preschool children came to the rescue. Any guesses? It's South Africa. So Balloon Foundation in Johannesburg, South Africa, reached out to a couple of institutions asking them to participate in Charity Week. But for their luck, it did not work out as it was. So they tried to reach out to preschoolers just as a chance to see if anything could be done. Subhanallah, what happened was their parents and these nursery children participated in Charity Week. They dressed up as superheroes during their civil day and had a beautiful Charity Week where even the teachers taught the children what it is to be real superheroes. At the end of the day, they were the real superheroes.
Okay, the next country that we have, they had their first ever Charity Week auction, and they sold Zulia. Any guesses? Yes. So, last year at the IAG, Matamera promised that they were going to sell a camel. They would auction off a camel. So to get, a camel. So to get one step closer, they auctioned off Zulia. But not to be mistaken though, this was a carpet. Community College, Qatar, raised 10,000 riyals from this auction. And while this was one amazing auction, is certainly not the only auction that has taken place during Charity Week.
And talking about auction, our next country auctioned a painting, and the money raised is going to be donated to the orphans, and the painting itself was donated to an orphan. Which country is this? USA! So in USA, there was this particular painting that was put into auction, and this particular painting was a reflection of the hadith by our very beloved Prophet ﷺ, where it said, myself and the caretaker of an orphan would be like this in Jannah. And there was a massive bidding war between the brothers and the sisters for this particular painting. However, since no one wanted to step back, they had a contract that all the brothers and sisters, the collective money, would be put into this painting, and $15,000 for $15,000 and above dollars, this particular painting was sold. But there is a twist. This particular painting was, since both the parties put in money, the contract was that this particular painting would be donated to an orphan.
The next example, this is the story of unity spreading across borders between two countries. Who do you guys think it is? Yes, this was Germany. There was a sister recently in the USA that had sadly passed away. I remain to Allah that Allah grant her the highest place in Jannah. This story, so this led another sister at City College, New York, to decide to dedicate her charity week campaign to Ola Salem, who is the sister that had passed away. From this, an institution in Germany decided that they would too do the same. So what they did was, all the way in Frankfurt, Muslims united for this sister that they had never ever met, with the aim of their charity donations to be of benefit to her. And this is a story. This is the way that unity spreads barakah throughout the world. And the next story is also one of unity, and it's between two sisters that decided that they wanted to participate in charity, but they weren't exactly sure how to. Any ideas? Which country is it? This was the UK. Mariam gave us loads of examples earlier in an amazing presentation of all the different events that had taken place across UK, and this is yet another one. These two sisters from Liverpool Hope University weren't exactly sure how to do charity. But yet they still persevered and they went through with it. They organized everything from the admin to the finance, and alhamdulillah, they managed to raise over £700 for charity. This is yet another example of the seeds being planted for unity.
And I don't think the final country is a surprise, it's Canada. So for Canada, our story is similar to what Ms. Haj is talking about, planting seeds of unity in different places for future. So in Canada, we were in a situation where in a province we did not have a rep or anyone to do charity week. And given, inshallah, the vastness of Canada itself, it's difficult for the national team, which is predominantly in Toronto, to move across provinces, thousands of miles, to organize charity week. So as we've been kind of giving up hope on Canada's this particular province, there was this one brother who reached out and he was just like, you know what, I want to do charity week. He single-handedly reached out to institutions, to MSAs, signed them up for charity week. And when all this was happening, we asked him, what is your plan? How are you planning to do this? How are you planning to make this happen? His answer was very simple. It's going to be a little difficult because I have my high school exams coming up. Yes, he's a 16-year-old. A 16-year-old high school brother who single-handedly had charity week in Alberta. He reached out to MSA presidents, got them signed in. We had 3 institutions from Alberta for Charity Week. Also, they had an annual dinner with zero budget. Imagine that. They organized an annual dinner with zero budget by having potluck. They had a room full of people, live streaming Toronto annual dinner, and even Alberta raised even way more than what we could have imagined. And this was possible just because of the vision this person believed in. And just to say this is what's possible by one person. So next time if anyone tells you you can't make a difference, don't believe in them.
While we know that these are only a few examples of what has taken place over Charity Week, a very few examples of the amazing work that has been done, what me and Asma would like to say is that every single one of you in this room and those watching, that for us, you guys are a true international highlight.
Jazakumullah khair for that. Can we have a huge little round of applause, please?
You know what I find really amazing? Even though this is the international dinner, always surprises me how much London cheer for our international guests. So, very, very good host. I was hoping for a cheer there, but you know what? Cool. Not cheering. Save your voices, trust me. Got lots of special things coming. Right. Our next speaker is going to talk to us about how Charity Week... Shh! Guys, can we sit down, please? There you go. Our next speaker is going to tell us about how Charity Week has impacted her life. Now, she is a veteran of Charity Week herself. She's been in it longer than the Queen's been alive, or EastEnders has been running. I don't know whichever's longer. True maverick of Charity Week.
Buy your merch online.
In her spare time, she's also a dentist. I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Hafsa Malik.
Simple question, that's all. Who benefits from Charity Week? Surely it's obvious, right? I mean, it's written all over our posters. Charity Week, raising money for orphans and needy children around the world. It's the needy that benefit. But it's not that simple. Unity and uniting in Charity Week helps every single person that takes part, not just the needy. So I was asked to do this talk to tell you guys all how uniting in Charity Week has changed me as an individual. So I tried to think about what angle to go from, and so I asked some of my friends. And I heard way too much brutal honesty about how annoying I was 5 years ago before I discovered CW. But I think the biggest change within myself goes a little bit deeper than that. So let me set the scene. I first got involved in Charity Week in March of 2015, so just under 5 years ago. I was Charity Week rep at my university, big up, Barts. So my motivation to get involved in Charity Week was just not that exciting. I just wanted to help people. I very quickly picked up some very bad habits that a lot of us here can relate to. I started skipping lectures, I didn't go to teaching because I'd rather stand at a cake stall for 6 hours, and I stayed up until crazy hours in the morning making posters. But I was on a mission. I was determined. I was obsessed by the numbers. How many people came to our event? Was it more than last year? How much money did the event cost to run? How much did we raise? They were all such material concerns. I didn't stop and think, why? Why am I doing Charity Week? Why am I on the team? Why am I here? I didn't really sit and deep it until much, much later. So after my year doing Charity Week at Barts, I survived, and I decided, you know what, let's do more. So I applied to be on the London team, and alhamdulillah, I was given the role of London Events Lead. So at the end of that year, at the end of CW 2016, I was sat at the International Annual Dinner in London, enjoying the hype, just as you guys all are today. There's a picture for the vibe. The Charity Week Germany director at the time was on stage, and he played a video. Our money, us the charity weekers, our money raised the year before, so 2015, had been spent, in part, buying incubators, investing in ICU machines, and training medical staff in Gaza. In this video, they played an interview with a new mother. She explained the complications surrounding the delivery of her son Zayn, and how he spent the first 14 days of his life in an incubator. The incubator they showed in the video had the Charity Week logo all over them. Our Charity Week. We did this. When I was sat there in 2016, that video made me so emotional. It was a stark reminder that we are not just raising money for orphans and needy children around the world. Charity Week is not a tagline. We are literally saving lives. That £1 Krispy Kreme you bought, the £5 games night entry ticket, the £100 cake auction donation, it might have seemed insignificant to you at the time. And you've probably already forgotten how much money you gave to Charity Week this year. But what I realised, what finally hit home, sat in that chair in 2016, is that we united, and therefore we have saved lives. Because we came together, because we put our money together, we didn't just have the money to buy a week or month or even a year's worth of medication for this hospital. We had the money to invest in medical professionals and life-saving equipment that will be in this hospital for decades to come, saving lives over and over and over again. And that was just one project. Because what also happened in 2016, for the first time, we raised enough money that we didn't need to have a project survey. We were able to fund all 4 projects. So, 3 years later, looking back, how has Charity Week helped me? Well, the beauty is, as well as the projects and the realisation of how pivotal unity is, Charity Week has helped me in ways that I could not have imagined. Yeah, it's true. You learn the usual. You work better under pressure, you work better in a team, you're better at public speaking, all of these things. But there are just a couple of things that have changed my outlook on life altogether. Firstly, Charity Week has given me a heavy dose of reality. Feedback videos like these and the ones that you've watched this evening are not easy to watch by any means, but we need to see the people who need us. Our ummah is crying out to their Lord for help, and Allah chose us, every single one of us in this room, to be part of that journey to help others. And that should make us feel honoured and humbled. Every time I feel like I am too stressed or too tired, or that Charity Week is just all too much, I remember this video, and I remember that the stress I feel is nothing compared to what these people are going through. Baby Zayn in Gaza is alive today because of Charity Week, just like thousands of other children like him across the world. And that's something that we should not forget. Secondly, Charity Week has allowed me to leave university with far more than just a degree. Yes, alhamdulillah, I survived 5 long years and I'm very proud of my degree. But Charity Week has meant that I can also leave with friends for life, with seeds sowed for my akhirah, inshallah, and finally, the ability to time manage. Gone are the days of staying up till 3 AM making posters for a basketball tournament. It's just not happening anymore. I work full-time outside London, and yes, my job and my commute keep me busy, but really, it's Charity Week that keeps me sane. So, as your lovely host said, I'm a dentist, I love teeth, but I cannot think about them 24/7. Charity Week gives me purpose when I'm otherwise just feeling unmotivated and unproductive. It makes me feel like I'm actually making a difference, not just to others, but also to myself, sowing seeds for my Akhirah, inshallah, so that the day that we need Allah the most, the day that we need His shade and His mercy, my work in Charity Week will, inshallah, be there with me. So, brothers and sisters, this is just my story, just one example of how uniting in Charity Week can bring benefit. Yeah, when you're working by yourself, you can bring benefit, there's no doubt about that, you can help others, but you're more likely to be the same person before and after. You work on your own terms, you work within your comfort zone, you don't have to adapt. But when you work in a team, you improve yourself. You learn patience because you have to work with people who are different to you. You learn experience from those who are more wise than you, from those who have been in the project longer than you, and you learn enthusiasm from those who are newer to the project than you. And the bigger the team, the greater the unity. And the greater the unity, the more the barakah. Charity Week is, and if it isn't, then it should be about connecting with your Lord and connecting with your Ummah. So you may have seen in the bag in front of you, there's a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. Why is that? Why have we given you a random piece of jigsaw? It's because each and every one of you is an essential part of the CW picture. Charity Week is incomplete without all of you here, and each and every one of us is equally important to make this picture complete. So when you go back to my initial question, who benefits from Charity Week? Don't just think of the needy, because honestly, it's us. We are the ones who are benefiting. So we all know the hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said that charity does not decrease wealth. And it's true. My involvement in Charity Week for the last 5 years has not taken anything from me. Yes, I gave my time, my energy, I put my heart and soul into trying to make events and projects come to fruition. But what I got back in return is worth far more than any number that can be put on a screen. Unity has been a blessing that I cannot imagine being without. And I truly pray that Allah allows me to continue on this journey, because really it's an opportunity that I don't want to let go. And from the bottom of my heart, I pray that you guys all get to feel this too, because this is a feeling that cannot be matched. Jazakumullah khair.
Okay then, right. Got a quick line for that actually. It's not always about what you can do for Charity Week. Sometimes it's about what Charity Week can do for you. I was planning on a mic drop, but no, it's right. Right, our next guest is someone very, very special. Should I say guest? I'm not sure. Not really a guest. Speaker. Our next speaker, someone very special to Charity Week and to London in particular.
So, we go way back, all the way since this morning, really, so, yeah.
She's from a small village in Pakistan called Bradford. Please, give it up for our London rep, Iman Parmani!
Yes, I am from the north, but 3.5 years ago, I came to London to study and found myself in the best Charity Week region of them all. So, the biggest thing of Charity Week is in its name, week. Charity Week, although might last a week or two, the lead up is never ending. And when I started my role 9 months ago, there's been endless tasks, WhatsApp messages, and plenty of stress. And sometimes in the midst of that all, it gets easy to forget the blessing that is this role that I was given the chance to fill. And genuinely, CW 2019 has been my favourite, best charity week that I have experienced. And that's not because of the amazing London team that put the legend in London Legends. And it's not because of all the personal development that Hafsa mentioned before. It's because as being on the London team and being London lead gave me the opportunity to not just be part of Charity Week at my own institution, it gave me the opportunity to see and in some small way be part of the Charity Week at the institutions across London, which I'm very grateful for. Constantly being sent during Charity Week pictures of events, banners, cake stalls. I've been sent rave reviews from the London team about the events that they've been to and how hospitable the institutions were that hosted them. And I'm in quite a lot of the institution chats, and honestly, your hard work does not go missed. So, to start off, South Bank, I was in their group chat, and honestly, I've never seen such a well-oiled machine. They, last year, managed to raise the amazing amount of £1,000, mashallah. This year, managed to do that in just one night. They even received a commendation from their student union, who commented on how their charity week had resulted in a positive impact that had spread around campus. MashaAllah. This was also the year that I got to witness for the first time the infamous UCL banana auction. So it started off at like £50. It raised quite quickly, then it got to about 2 or 3 and it was stagnant. And I was like, come on, this isn't the UCL auction that I signed up for. And then 2 minutes later, 5 societies joined together to donate £10,000 for a banana. And then afterwards, I had to witness them feeding it to each other, which was very interesting. On the topic of food, never did I realise how valuable biryani was until Woodhouse managed to sell a box of biryani for £250. Someone needs to tell our mums that they're onto something. And it's been amazing having all this... Hello? Cool. It's been amazing having all the schools and colleges on a board as we did. It's been amazing having all the schools and colleges on board this year. A special shout out goes to Azhar Academy, who took place, it was their first year, and they had so much passion. And subhanAllah, they're in year 8. They joined late and they were so excited about Charity Week. And think about, they're in year 8 now. They have the opportunity to spread Charity Week into the universities that they go into, into the communities that they go into. So it's amazing having them a part of it. And they also held football tournaments throughout the week for their female students. So inshallah, we'll see some budding Muslimah footballers coming out there. On the topic of girls in sport, a special shout out goes to the ISOC netball team, who are an amazing group of girls who agreed to collaborate in one of our events with us on inter-uni netball competition. We're super grateful for all the effort you guys put in. And it was a bit rainy, but nothing a couple plastic CW machines couldn't shake off. Next. Also, special shout out to Westminster. Their first charity week in 8 years, and they set trends. They set trends this year by auctioning off Charity's very first lota. Or for the big boys out there, Modna. And on the topic of unorthodox auction items, shout out to Kingston for their Roadman hamper and their hijab Superwoman cake. And it can't go without mentioning the Charity Week blockbuster that we all witnessed, that was Imperial's trailer. It took the world by storm. It truly left me speechless, and if you know me, you know that isn't easy. And lastly, I want to shout out the amazing talent that I saw at SOAS and KCL during their poetry nights. Honestly, it was amazing to be in a room filled with so much talent. It was so uplifting and inspiring. So, I've also been given the opportunity to announce the best award of them all. The one that is at the true core of Charity Week. The best act of unity. Now, we see unity in our Islamic societies. We see it in schools amongst the students and the teachers. And we see it in our teams, in our regional teams, in our national teams between our departments. The unity this year has been amazing, mashallah. And before I announce who gets this award, a famous Swahili proverb. Shout out to Beth and West for giving me it. Unity in strength, division in weakness. So, it gives me my pleasure to announce the best display of unity goes to, drum roll please, Queen's University Belfast! What's amazing about Queen's University Belfast is that they come from a community where there isn't a lot of Muslims. They don't have any purpose-built masjids. They don't even have a prayer room on their campus. But that only strengthens their resolve. And throughout their charity week, they made so much effort to engage their wider community. They had a football competition with different faith groups and with the small community of refugees that have settled there over the last couple of years. They did a day where they sent all their volunteers to help pack medical aid supply for people suffering in Syria with the Hardship Foundation. And just being on the chats with them and seeing how excited they are about Charity Week and how engaged they were with us despite being so far was just so amazing. And so it's a pleasure having them on board every year, and I pray that one day that the Northern Ireland region is as big and amazing as London, inshallah. Is that for here, guys?
Can we give a big round of applause for our man? Jazakallah for that fantastic talk. Okay, so just before we move on to our next segment, just a very polite reminder to just be wary of the glasses on the tables. We don't want anything to break. And so I've got to announce another sponsor. Just about to announce another sponsor.
Wait. Is it time?
Bro, I don't think they're ready.
Should we ask them?
Go for it.
Guys, hear me out here for a second. Got a question for you. Are you ready for the London Totals? Your speakers for the night, Bangladesh's finest superhero, Himayat Chaudhry!
And Charity Week's very own hype man, Munnar!
guys there? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alright, settle down, Monsieur. So I have here in my hand what a lot of Londoners have been waiting for the last few months. A culmination of your efforts. So who's ready for it?
Are you guys ready?
Bismillah.
Just before we start, I'd just like to share a bit of a reflection that was shared to me at 2016 annual dinner by a senior brother when I attended the annual IAD. He said to me after the totals had been announced that we shouldn't just be celebrating the fact that we've raised whatever we've raised. At the end of the day, the provider of those orphans and needy children is the same provider for us. It is Allah Ar-Razzaq. And so if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed us to be a means, then we should not only celebrate, but also give thanks to Allah. So when you find your total, and you realize what we've been able to achieve when we unite, don't just celebrate, but when you go home, do sajda and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So without further ado, we'll move on to the totals. So the first total for the night
is, now I want to hear a cheer for all institutions, whether they're small or large, because every pound raised is a culmination of your efforts. So, we start off with schools and colleges. So the first school is...
Can we have a drum roll?
Ball School raised £76.
Allahu Akbar. Takbir. Takbir. We are moving now on to the next total. The next total is Goldman Sachs School. And they raised £140. Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
And the next college is Henrietta Barnett School. And they raised £160.
Seems like the brother are having a lot of fun. Can we get everyone seated, please, inshallah, for the next total? Everyone ready? The next total is... The next school is St. Dominic's, who have raised a total of £364. Takbir! 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 Takbir!
And the next school is Watford Grammar School for Girls. And they raised
Are you guys ready for the next institution? Are you guys ready for the next institution? I want to hear you in support of these schools, inshallah, so try and get in. The next institution is Preston Manor School. And the total is 1,200 pounds! That's me! That's me! That's me! Preston Manor! Preston Manor!
And the next school and college is Ashar Academy. And they raised £1,400. Takbir!
Allahu Akbar!
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar!
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar! Brothers, can we ensure we are seated, please? Jazakallahu khair, so we can move on to the next total. And the next total is for the final schools and college category. Woodhouse College, who have raised an amazing amount, given that they are just a college, £5,500. Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
So, we've seen our amazing amounts raised by our schools and colleges. And hopefully we see them move on to amazing London institutions. So, we're moving on. The first university is University of West London. And they raised £481. Takbir!
UWL! The brothers are quiet on this one.
Where's the energy, brothers?
Can we get everyone seated, please, inshallah?
Alright, settle down. Let's cheer for all these institutions.
Subhanallah, some of these institutions have these schools and colleges that we've just done. There are a few college students that have come together and they've raised and they're putting that effort and they've united with everyone else. That effort that they put, let us appreciate them, whether they're here or they're not here, whether they're schools and colleges or universities. Let's encourage and let's show just how much love we have for them, inshallah, by encouraging and chanting their name, inshallah. The next institution is Royal Holloway, and their total is £1,100, £1,110. Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
Okay. This is an institution that's very far away, and they're by themselves. But alhamdulillah, they raise amazing amounts of money every year. So, the next institution is Queen's Uni Belfast! And they raise
The next institution is one that I'll talk about for a bit. This is an institution who started their Charity Week journey just last year. When we went and spoke to them last year, they didn't even have an ISOC. They barely had a few Muslim students on campus. Yet last year was their first ever year involved. And subhanAllah, I went to their dinner this year. I went to their fundraiser. And just seeing the growth, seeing how hard they were working was nothing short of inspiring. That university is none other than London South Bank University. And subhanAllah, given that they didn't exist a few years ago, this year, they raised a total of £2,740. Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
يا مرحبا باللي جونا وهلونا بحضوركم نسعد يلي لفيتونا.
Now the next university is Goldsmiths! And they raised £5,160. Takbir!
أحلى الفعاليات وروعها بتشوفون فيها
G-U-O! G-U-O! G-U-O!
G-U-O!
Come on, brothers! Where's the show of unity? Bismillah! And our next university. My brothers, can we please take a seat? Jazakallah khair. So we can move on to the next one. Thank you. I'm sure you are all eagerly awaiting for the next total. The next institution is again a very, very special university. A university whose year is their first year taking part in Charity Week. And they had their dinner, and everyone who attended that dinner said it was one of the most nicest dinners that they've been to. They had just about essentially made that dinner and they had smashed it, absolutely. That university is Westminster! Technical issues there, apologies. We're getting on to Westminster in a second. The next university is indeed Greenwich, as you see on your screens. And their total is £2,550. Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Takbir!
So, as Munaj preemptively introduced, I actually sat there in their meeting and watched them come up with their amazing dinner in a week. Slow down, boy. Okay. So, I sat in the meeting a week before their dinner, and they somehow, amazingly, mashallah, they came up with their dinner in 1 week. That was Westminster. And they raised £7,730.
Takbir!
Allahu Akbar!
Come on, brothers, join me. enthusiasm. Jazakallah khair. Our next university is again a very special university in London.
Sorry, not Leeds.
Again, a university that you heard of earlier in the day. They have come so far, subhanallah, in the last few years. They've gone from being a few brothers and sisters and they've absolutely smashed it. That is University of Middlesex! And they raised a total of £14,400! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
So, I had the pleasure of actually attending this university's auction dinner, and it was amazing. This institution was SOAS! And they raised
And the next university. This is a university whose dinner I had the honest privilege of attending. And I mean that. The hospitality they showed when I came to speak at their dinner was amazing. From the ISO presidents right down to just the common people who were taking part. Just the brothers and sisters who had come to attend and enjoy the dinner. Everyone was so hospitable. And that university is London School of Economics! We raised a total of £35,000! Takbir!
so nervous. Okay. Here's another institution whose dinner I had the pleasure of being invited to. And I can tell you, they really do know how to pull off a dinner. Can you guess who it is? That's right, Imperial! And they raised 39,000.
Brothers, sisters, can we get everyone to settle down?
Please, yes, kindly refrain from throwing people in the air.
Please, everyone, take a seat so we can move on to the next total. Please find a seat and take it. We know it's exciting. We're very happy that you're happy. But please, stay seated, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Now, the next total. The next total is of a university very close to my heart. They say you can take the boy out of George's, but you can't take George's out of the boy. St. George's University! We raised a total of 39,889! Takbir! Takbir!
مجموع الكلام بالمتعه عنوان حيث المساء يحلو منكم وفيكم زان منكم وفيكم
Could we also refrain from throwing napkins in the air as well? Alright, settle down, boys, settle down. Okay, and the next institution is Cuba! And they raised 46,700.
Alhamdulillah. My voice is starting to go. And now, are you ready to move on to the next university? Can we please take a seat for the brother at the back, please? Jazakallah khair. Please take a seat, and I will move on to announcing the totals. Please take a seat. Jazakallah khair.
Have a seat, guys.
King's College London! With a total of 59,860 pounds! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Takbir!
had the privilege of being part of this institution for coming 4 years. They're a rowdy bunch. They're a loud bunch. Please welcome UCL! I've been ignoring. I haven't been reading the cards. So this is my first look. UCL raised 88,000.
Can we settle down, please?
Sit down, guys.
Brothers, if you want to move on to the next part, please take a seat.
Okay. So, Judges, settle down, please. We want to hear the final total for London. And you have saved the party poppers.
So get your party poppers out and settle down, please, as we announce the total for London. This is what happens when we can come together, we can pull ourselves together. So can we have a bit of silence as we get closer to the London total? Brothers, sisters, everyone, can I have you all seated, please, so that we can move on to the London total. And I know you've been waiting for this, I know you're excited. Please take a seat, inshallah, and we'll move swiftly. Jazakallah khair.
So, the London total is...
Drum roll, please!
1
about it. Think about what we've achieved when we come together for one single cause. Think about what you've gained. Hafsa actually alluded to this in her speech. What she's gained over the period of Charity Week, her involvement. Sit there and reflect just for a moment and think about what you gained during 2019 Charity Week. How you developed as a person, how you've grown, what skills you've gained, and how you're going to use that to better yourself in Charity Week 2020.
My brothers and sisters, before we depart, a few words from me, inshallah. Now, the excitement and the excitement from the room is absolutely electric. The atmosphere, subhanallah. You've seen the total, subhanallah. Look what can happen when we can come together. We can raise over £421,000 just in London. But, what's even more significant is not the money, my brothers and sisters. It's this. It's the unity that we create when we come together. It's bringing the ummah, bringing Muslims together. That is what it's about. That's bigger than any total, my brothers and sisters. That total will feed orphans, it will help orphans, it will save orphans, and the money will, but the solutions of the problems of the ummah lie when we do this, when we come together. That is what Charity Week is about. Above and beyond the money, Charity Week is about that. About bringing Muslims and bringing the ummah together. Jazakallah khair. It's been an honor to be here, and we'll be handing back over to the host. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Right, cool. Now that we've gotten that out of our system, I think I've lost my voice a little bit sweaty as well. Right. Right. Just before we move on, really quickly, a kind request. Kind request. I hate to say the word again, but I have to. You know, we mentioned unity. There's been a lot of napkins and chairs that are out of place. If we could all unite and put them back together just where we found them, that would be amazing. Yes. Thank you. And lads at the back, UCL, KCL, Bilal, could you sit down please? Thank you. Order. Right. UCL, hear me out here. You guys won, right? No winning. There's no winner. This is not going well. Right, guys, if we could all be quiet for 2 seconds so we can announce the next act.
And this next act is a big one. It's a big one. So we've heard from London, we've gone through the totals. But it's time to hear another total. Another few set of totals. So, it's time to introduce. Yeah, I think we should have a drum roll. Can we have a massive drum roll? It's time to introduce. I think I need it louder. It's time to introduce the International Total! And who
My ears, but it's ringing still, mashallah. Energy is very much electric. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all doing? What an absolute pleasure for me at my first international annual dinner to be standing on the stage in front of you all, just about to announce and to celebrate, in fact, the efforts, the achievements, the unity that we have seen all across the world. Thank you first and foremost to the incredible organizers of the International Annual Dinner, Charity Week 2019. Thank you to our lovely hosts, Nadeem and Umar. Give it up to them as well. And thank you all for making this a memorable and incredible night that I'm sure you guys will remember for years and years to come. Shout out also to my Canadians on live stream and to everyone else that's live streaming in. And are you guys ready?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm not sad or nervous. It's just that all the night I had the bird to have the totals here in my pocket, so I'm bringing them out, inshallah, and handing them slowly but surely over to Brother Fatah.
It's my first time looking at these, by the way.
Are you ready to hear the Charity Week 2019 National Totals?
And drum roll, please. The first national total for Canada is 62,000. Wonderful. And Canada. We call ourselves the North too, but no banter to the Great White North. All right. The next national total for Qatar is 178,000 riyals.
Takbir! 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 Let's continue to the next country, no other than Germany! And their total is 108,000 euros! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Continuing with the next national total, no other than South Africa, with a total of 600,340,000 riyals. Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
والناس يتهنون والناس يتهنون
And we have our next national total. My neighbors down south. Can I get a USA? And the total for the USA
Before we move on to the next national total, I want to say something in the International Charity Week community. Because obviously, my mic is not working. Obviously, the total will be your total. It's a total that for many years inspired Muslims, youth, old, young, across the globe. And in the name of the international charity community, I just wanted to say to the UK family, we love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You inspire us. You inspire us, and please never, ever stop what you are doing. Continue wherever you are. So without further ado, the UK! Alhamdulillah, amazing. But let's continue.
Let's tell them, boys, we have a nice surprise coming up. A nice surprise.
Let's continue to the last total for today. The International Charity Week 2019 total. And before we end this, there's something to say because there can't be a Marvel's Endgame
and there can't be a Charity Week Endgame
without Iron Man!
And the Charity Week 2019 International Annual Total is 1.1!
Yeah.
is done by someone very, very special to the project and very, very special to the UK.
Guys. Can we all take our seats, please? Lights are dim.
Lights are dim. The stage is set.
Brothers! Take our seats. Let's take our seats.
So, just before everyone leaves tonight, I think it's very, very important to tie back to why are we here. We're sat here in our swanky suits. We're looking all fly. Yeah?
Just the brothers.
But I think it's very easy to forget, which is why we've got a very, very special speaker to deliver the final talk.
But we need everyone to sit down. Each and every one. Trying to reel it back in. Nice and slow. There you go. Fine. Our next speaker is none other than Safwan!
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Now, as you guys all know, this year in Charity Week 2019, we have used superheroes as our theme this year. And we've used Marvel because they have captured the imagination of the world. More of us can name 10 Avengers than can name the Ashra Mubashara, the 10 companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ who have been promised Jannah. And if they made a series about the Muslims now, we wouldn't need to bother with the likes of Spider-Man or Iron Man, because it would just be 20 straight episodes of civil war. And the reality is that the greatest threat to Islam is the belief that somebody else is going to save our religion. The greatest threat to our religion is us, my brothers and sisters, the Muslims. And we're all a part of this endgame, but it is far from clear who is going to win. And in the Avengers Endgame, in the final battle of the Avengers Endgame, after Marvel had spent more than 10 years building each of these superhero characters, these amazing worlds, they were defeated and they had disappeared. And all that remained between the earth and total destruction by the armies of Thanos were Captain America and Iron Man. Even these two had been defeated. They had been defeated and they were bleeding and they were in pain. And yet Thanos came. He stood proudly. Not even a drop of sweat on his face. Suited up full in his armor. Ready to cause some serious damage with the Infinity Gauntlet in his hand. And stood behind him his armies and henchmen, legions of evil as far as the eye can see. This was it. This was the end game. This was the end. At least it was supposed to be the end. Faced against the overwhelming odds, faced with the end of their world, faced with total destruction, they could have stayed down, they could have given up, they could have surrendered. But instead, hurt, bleeding, destroyed, they still stood up. It was a moment of incredible courage. If mankind was going to go down, it was not going to go down without a fight. It was not going to go down on its knees. And then, in the movie, a strange thing happens. These portals open up and outpour hero after hero in countless numbers. There will still be a fight, but at least this time they had a chance of winning. Avengers! My brothers and sisters, I'm not talking about the movie anymore. I am talking about the Muslims. Because who needs fake movies and fake superheroes when our own history has moments just like this? Real supervillains like Shaitan and real superheroes just like our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And in the Battle of Uhud, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, what started off so well instantly turned darker than we could have ever imagined. What turned out so well instantly turned darker than we could have ever imagined. The heroes were divided. Some were in front and some were behind. And they soon lost touch with each other. And when they lost touch with each other, a cry went out. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is dead. He took an arrow directly to his face. Nobody could survive that. But then a small group, the smallest of groups, gathered around the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's not dead. And they defend him with their bodies. Every slash, every stab, every shot. They don't stay down, they keep getting up again and again and again. Ummah herself took no less than 12 wounds. This is what it takes, my brothers and sisters. This is what it takes. Every conquering king and general, from Salahuddin to Muhammad Fatih, from the conquest of Istanbul to India, none of this would have happened if it wasn't for this small group standing up and uniting around our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when everybody else ran away. This was our end game too. But it was these few brave individuals who decided that it would not be the end. My brothers and sisters, this is why you and I are here today. And this is where all of you come. Because I look around the room and I see people who have lost so much. Lost their rest, lost their sleep, lost out on countless valuable hours with their friends and their family, and lost out on so much more. And you think that life takes more than it gives. But not tonight. Tonight, it gives us a chance. Because this unity has us defeated. This unity has us bleeding on the floor. This unity has us divided from one end of the world to the other. This unity has us fighting between ourselves. And to even try to stand up against this unity seems like a madness. It seems like suicide. It seems like a fantasy. And people will tell you that unity is just a word. It's impossible. You're just talking rubbish. And yet, here we are. We dare to stand. We dare to dream. We dare to unite. And we know that the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on its way. But between now and those portals opening up, and those legions of heroes coming forth from all over, there must be a small group that stands. A small group that believes that even in our darkest moments there is hope. A small group that does not give up. A small group that will unite. Because, my brothers and sisters, we are already united in grief. Every time we see or we read the news, every time we look at our social media, every time we hear about a tragedy, we are united in grief. We are united in despair. We are united in sadness. But my brothers and sisters, it is time that we were united in power. Because 1400 years ago, there was an idea. An idea to bring together a remarkable group of individuals. So that together, not individually, but together, we could fight the battle against disunity that we could never do alone. The time for this idea has come. Because we have had enough of losing. of destruction, enough of excuses. We announce now a new dawn, a new era, a new age. The age of unity. And this requires us to stand up and be counted. This requires us not to be heroes individually, but to come together and be heroes together, to assemble, to unite. Because, my brothers and sisters, Shaitan looks at us and he laughs. Shaitan looks at us and he laughs. He says that he knows he is going to win. He knows that he has nationalism on his side. He knows that he has racism on his side. He knows that he has sexism on his side. He looks at us and he laughs. He says, this is your defeat. This is your downfall. This is your destruction. He looks at us, he laughs, and he says, I am inevitable. But we turn to him and we say, we are the ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and we are united. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi.
Jazakallah khair, Safwan, for that amazing talk. Yeah, go for it, go on. We love you, Safwan. We do. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Right. You know the saying, all good things must come to an end. Unfortunately, the IAD 2019 has come to an end.
However, we'd just like to thank you all so much for coming and for being the superheroes you are. Can you get a big round of applause for yourselves, please? Also, a massive thank you to the London team, the IAD team, and my co-host, Umar! Brothers and sisters, I urge each and every one of you, when you leave this room tonight and you're elated the fact that we raised together 1.4 million, please, please, please don't forget why we're here. And the best practice is to go home, pray 2 rak'ah shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we are born in this country, we are blessed, we are safe, and to pray for the ummah. And just before we end, there's a rumor. There's a rumor going around. I don't know if you've heard. But the rumor is that apparently Charity Week 2020 is meant to be the best Charity Week yet. Assalamu alaikum.